Welcome back to the channel, good friends. Brian from Apex Detail. Today, we will be playing Will It Scratch? This is a game where we gather up everything that can and will come in contact with your vehicle's surface, including California dusters, feather dusters, wash mitts, sponges, brushes, drying towels, and much, much more. And in this video, we find out which of these will leave marring, scratching, or love marks on painted surfaces. And just to tell you straight off, pretty much if you touch your car in any manner at all, there's a high probability you will scratch it. So all of these will scratch to some extent, and this video just shows you how much. So we have a test panel here. This is medium clear, and for each round I will sprinkle some very light dust on the surface. We're going to start with the California Duster, and I'm going to dust off the surface just as a lot of my customers do when they're at a car show, and if their car's parked at the entrance where vehicles come in and out and really stir up a lot of dust, and they want to dust it off before the paint judge comes through. I will apply a balance of pressure, light enough not to purposely introduce love marks, but enough purpose to remove the dust completely from the surface, and I will keep going until the surface is perfectly clean. Then I'll bring you in each time, bring in the swirl light, and we will see the extent of the damage. Obviously, this test panel is black, but important to note that the clear coat is medium hardness. So if you have a very soft clear coat, the damage will be more extent. And if you have hard, stubborn clear coat, a lot less. But this is what a California Duster will do to your car. Throw it directly into the dumpster.
Do it! Just do it!
By the way, between each round, I will be correcting the surface, making sure all the love marks and swirls are removed again, except for some of the deeper ones. Hey, this test panel is here for a reason. It's why it's not on the car anymore. It's dented and scratched. But we will be able to see minor love marks and swirls that we introduce to this surface. Moving right along. Two other dusters that I'm often asked about is the one here with the microfiber fingers, so to speak. You would think, since we use microfiber for wash mitts and drying towels and to remove polishes and compounds, that it would be safe. But you can't use this in a safe manner whatsoever, so I'll demonstrate that right here. And then the one after this is another one that I see in the trunk of some cars that come through the shop here, and that is the feather duster. And I'll bring you in close once again so you can see the love marks that are introduced. And for those new to the channel or some of the customers tuning in, love marks, I call them that just because they're introduced to the surface of your vehicle from you caring or loving for your car and inadvertently scratching it, because it really doesn't take a lot. By the way, if you do catch them early and remove them before they really start to pile up and you accumulate years of neglect and abuse, you can remove them with a light polish or maybe even a medium polish. But after a long period of time of these just collecting on the surface of your car, it could take a multi-step correction to remove them. And finally, with the surface corrected, once again, we introduce the ever-popular so-called feather duster, either with real feathers or down feathers, or sometimes these light microfibers that are attached to a plastic handle. And just that alone getting in contact, if you're not using it right, will mar the surface. But even using it with the lightest touch can cause light marring and scratching. And bringing you in close using the swirl finder here, we see exactly what I'm talking about. All right, let's move on to yet another category. This category, it's well known that these will scratch your car, but in this case, I want to show you just how much. Cleaning your car, that's to remove bonded contaminants and, in worst case scenarios, bonded contaminants and traffic film. There are three grades for the most part of clay. There is a light, a medium, and a real harsh abrasive that they add to clay to go after some of these bonded contaminants. So we will mark off three areas with masking tape, and we'll start with light to the right, medium in the middle, and a real harsh abrasive clay on the left. I have often mentioned in videos I only clay if and where it's needed on a vehicle, and I show exactly how to find out where it's needed. Other than that, I will let the surface be, move on to the next step of contamination, because if you need to clay, you will need to follow up with some sort of a light polish or one step for correction. And you can see the three stages of imperfection that these leave behind. All right, let me correct the surface one more time. We're going to stay in the decontamination category, but instead of clay bars, let's move on to a clay mitt. What I'm spraying down here helps a little bit. And that's a clay lube, dedicated clay lube, and that's mostly water-based, a little bit of alcohol, some surfactants. The clay mitts work okay. I always prefer a clay bar and just cut to the chase when I'm doing the decontamination process. However, they work well until they don't, if that makes sense. Once they fail quickly, and you do need to dispose of it and pick up a new one. Sometimes they're quite pricey. And as you can see here, you will need to follow up this step with a light polish as well. Next category will be wash media, and there are many in this category. I just picked three: a wash mitt, microfiber, a sponge, and then also the ever popular tunnel car wash or drive-in coin-operated car wash, the brush. Let's see what they do to the surface of your painted vehicle. I have three areas masked off. The first one here will be with a microfiber mitt. The second one will be with a sponge. This one here, often used in rinseless washes. And then the very harsh brush will come in last on the left side of the panel. The microfiber wash mitt was dunked in a bucket of soapy water. The sponge was dunked in a bucket of O&R, and also the brush was dunked in a bucket of car shampoo and shaken a bit. I've been relaying what I see right here in front of the panel. You tell me what you are seeing between these three, from the least amount of damage to the worst amount of damage. Microfiber wash mitt, sponge, the big red sponge I use often, you see in my videos. I have no problem with it. There are new versions of it. And then also that brush you see in nightmarish videos of people scrubbing their cars at car washes. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this segment of Will It Scratch? And we will see you in the next segment where we pick up with other tools and media that come in contact with your car, and we'll probably scratch it.